got to go pee and deal with pizza. So we're looking at 20 minutes. Just want to keep track of it. 17 laps. Ugh. Oh. All right. I'll just shut you off for now. Okay, I took an opportunity to take the new battery out, or the battery out of the out of the camera, the small tree out, and I fooled around with the little electrical tines that are inside the camera, and I just did a little bit of tweaking on them, and I discovered that I got the battery working now. The other one, this is the one that didn't want to work in there. It does work, so I put the old one back in. So when that one wears out, I'll be able to put the new one in. It just needed a little bit of tweaking inside the camera. It's probably not a good idea to do that, but I just barely bent them a little farther out. So anyway, both those batteries work. Got to make sure the other ones work at some point, but they're not going to fool with that now. So got my oven fired and warming up, so I can start watching the pre-race here. Kind of change my seating arrangement here. I'm in the big comfortable, well, it's not really that much, oh, I forgot to turn it on. Not that much more comfortable, but it's a solid oak rocking chair that's at least a 1940. This is solid oak. I know that my mother, as long as with this, the big dining room table, and the chairs were all found in a cabin when my mother was a little girl. She was born in 1931, and in 1940-ish, give or take, they moved into a cabin about 25 miles to the west of here, up a place called Forest Creek. They moved way up there. They moved into this old gold mining cabin, and they found this rocking chair in there and the table and chairs, according to Mom. So who knows? They're way older than me, and my mother's 84 years old now. And, yeah, so some really nice old stuff. All right, I'm just about to watch my cup race here. All right, it's kind of hard to use my mouse from this angle, but I just want to sit in this chair now and drink beer. It is almost 11 o'clock now. I'm going to have to change the angles of this chair a little bit more. Yeah, like right there. Okay. All right. Okay, I might not watch too much of this pre-race. I'll watch the first of it. Don't need to sit there and go through all the ceremonies and everything. Just gonna check out the news. And it's on to Talladega. Let's see. All right. Pre-race is usually about 30 minutes. They are racing next week. Oh my goodness, I did not realize. We're already up to next week, which is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the 10th, and on the 9th is Kansas Speedway, and then on the 15th is the Showdown, the All-Star Race, and the Coke 600. God, it's already May. Indy 500 is going to be starting soon. Yeah, we're already to this big, the big festivities at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We have 3 races there, 15th, 16th, and then the 24th. Oh, be darn. Wow. But they're not off for Mother's Day. They're still gonna race. So Infinity will not be racing. They just made that announcement. Okay, so my race is going to be 2 hours and 56, almost 3 hours for that. So let's get on to pre-race here. Let's take about 28 minutes on this. All right, Talladega. Kawasaki. Okay, I just wanted to say a few things. Back around 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, I bought a NASCAR racing game. It was from 1999, and I played it on Windows 98, which I don't have Windows 98 anymore. I got Vista and 7 between everything. And I loved that game. I used to go home after work and just why am I hearing noise? Sorry. Okay, I guess it's just because I'm sitting in a different place. I didn't realize it was the fridge running. I have only had 2 beers. Okay, I love this game. You just did it with a simple joystick and then control it with the keyboard, shift up, down, reverse, whatever, and I really enjoyed it. It's called NASCAR Racing 1999, and Talladega was my favorite. Just get on there, just go. I mean, you just run in the pack, you pass, you wreck, all kinds of other things. Well, I pretty much wore that game out, and Windows 98 kind of disappeared on me at some point. Then I bought another newer one, and that was NASCAR Racing 3, and it's designed for Vista, which is this. I could install it on there, and it's okay. This machine's a little slow, so it's kind of choppy a little bit. So it's really not much fun, but it's a lot more difficult to run in the draft and everything. But I'm so burned out on it. I don't know if I'll ever race again. It's just not any fun anymore. It was once upon a time, but anyway, I had a lot of fun racing the Talladega. It's definitely my favorite track. So let's get on with this. Pre-race.
80 degrees today or more. Jeff Gordon, 92 career Cup wins, third all time.
By the way, my back's feeling pretty darn good.
500 miles plus.
I haven't had any ibuprofen for
Around this track. We're on the scene, bring you a little bit closer
12
to the
hours.
action. Darrell Waltrip, Chris Myers, Michael Waltrip on assignment, and we mean literally in the tiger suit.
He's out there somewhere.
He'll be racing in the 55 Toyota, and we'll be checking in with him. He's got the camera on the hat, talking to drivers, joining us throughout. There he is, just chatting with Denny Hamlin, who we saw moments ago. We'll get his thoughts on what it's like to be behind the wheel throughout the afternoon. You've won here 4 times. You know what it's like. It's still one of NASCAR's crown jewels. Why does this race, though, Darrell, give the underdog driver their best chance to win?
You know, I thought about that, and I think drivers that run up front, drivers that are used to racing each other, they know what they're going to do. Jeff Gordon knows what Jimmy Johnson or Dale Jr. or one of his teammates is going to do. He kind of knows what to expect. What are you going to do if Landon Castle's in your mirror? Or Josh Wise? Or any of those guys that you're not accustomed to racing with? They take you by surprise, and you don't know what to expect. And that unexpected is what lets that guy win the race.
Yeah, many favorites have been brought to their knees on this track. In fact, last week's Richmond winner, Kurt Busch, has been tamed at Talladega. He's had more DNFs, did not finish than top 5s over his career here. Meanwhile, checking the KFC headlines yesterday, Joey Logano took the lead for the final time with 3 laps to go, winning his second Talladega Xfinity race of his career. It was already his 3rd win of the season. Ryan Scott wound up second. Brad Smith is in stable condition following Saturday's surgery on both ankles. He was airlifted to a Birmingham hospital from Talladega. In Friday's ARCA race, he tried to avoid Austin Lane Self's car, hit him and plowed into the safer barrier. The car caught fire, but the barriers helped keep him safe. Danica Patrick, Googling sponsors as GoDaddy announces they will no longer sponsor her car after this season. She's searching for her first win, but recently broke the record for most top 10s by a female driver, and judging by the looks of her most recent tweet this week, she's in good shape, in good spirits. And you know, Darrell, you're active on Twitter. I checked your Twitter account after I saw this, and I know I know that you stay in shape. You're the motor coach when you're not in the booth.
I'm working out, yeah. I'm very agile, and yeah, you never know. I might have to get in the car. You know, I might have to go down and help Michael today. Who knows?
Let's check in with
That did look dangerous, didn't it?
That did, but I know it's amazing how you can do that. Danica's was not Photoshop, just setting the record straight. And Michael has the hat cam on, wandering in the crowd. And Michael, just your thoughts. I mean, you seem rather calm for a guy that is going to hit 200 miles an hour and try to go 188 laps today.
He hopes he can.
You know, I love this joint. I've always ran well here. I've won here, so it's a lot of fun. A couple people asked me earlier, I don't get to race that often. They said, are you nervous about racing? I said, I'm not, but I think some of the other guys are.
That you're in the field, yeah, we're nervous.
I
You knew that was coming. You knew that was coming.
And so I've got a lot to deal with, obviously, but it's fun to come down here and be one of the drivers. These are my buddies. These are my people. This is where I come from.
All right, thanks,